June 26, 2020. Guys, you're looking at a model of the Saharan dust cloud now through Sunday. Now, today it's over the Mississippi area, but by Sunday it's going to be cleared out of there and over you guys in the southeast. You can take a look at your timestamp. But guys, I've never seen anything like this in all of my years of watching these type of events. Here, if you walk outside now, there's a haze over the sky here in central Mississippi. But this ongoing Saharan dust outbreak across the Atlantic is by far the most extreme on the MODIS satellite record. It goes back 18 years. It's definitely historic, they're saying, at the University of Puerto Rico. It's going to be an extraordinary situation. Many of the colleagues there in Puerto Rico, the meteorologists, are saying it's the worst they've ever seen. And you can see a haze. This is a haze over Puerto Rico today, but it is here now. I've never seen this. It's kind of a golden haze, but it was so thick in Puerto Rico and across the Caribbean it darkened the skies and reduced visibility to only a few miles. The dust plume is nothing new. It's called the Saharan layer. But scientists say this one is historic because of how concentrated it is. It says the Saharan dust layer has paused hurricane season, and it does. It absorbs the moisture that they need. We've talked about it before. And it's talking about vertical wind shears, the change of wind speed and direction with height. For a hurricane to form, it needs little to no wind shear in a very moist environment. But guys, this is way more damaging to your lungs than a hurricane. These are current images. You can see that there's two sections of this. When we saw it as it was coming off the African coast. It will come in these series, but the first series, notice the gray and brown skies there across the southeast and the top. Then there's a gap between this main cloud that the gap includes Puerto Rico and Cuba in that area. But you guys are about to get hit by a second wave. But I've never seen this in our area. And this goes all the way down into Florida now. And like I said, that model you just saw, is it clearing out? That's 2 days away, 2.5 days away. But now, that may also help because there's things are starting to brew down in the southern Caribbean as far as tropical. And that wave coming in could dampen that out. We'll just kind of keep an eye on these things. Close up of the southeast. Again, the rains are starting to clear out, but that haze is taking over. Now, this particular map, I have set this to 10 particles per million, which is very thick. And that's what you're seeing now. This is today. See it across the southeast coming up into Texas, guys, out of the Bay of Campeche and crossing Mexico. But there's one that's much larger than that now that's entering into what many call Hurricane Alley, into the center right of your screen. But this is dangerous. We're going to read about it. And it's way high. This is from AccuWeather. This gives you a very good concentration level. This is Thursday, today Friday, Saturday, starting to get a break here in the southeast, except for Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina. Again, Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas are getting somewhat of a break, but it's going to linger. Never seen this here. This is Jackson, Mississippi's AccuWeather. Just a few minutes ago, it jumped to air quality unhealthy. This is important. You need to pay attention to it. If you can see outside, doesn't mean you need to walk outside. But if you're getting clearing skies, you're going to look at a phenomenon I've never seen. Now, this is 116, this unhealthy rating. Health effects can be immediately felt by sensitive groups. Healthy individuals may experience difficulty breathing and throat irritation with prolonged exposure. Limit your outdoor activity. Now, I set that map that we saw at 10 parts per million. This is just over the past hour. Again, Jackson, Mississippi AccuWeather, 116 is this rating at parts per million. It says particulate matter are inhalable pollutant particles with a diameter less than 10 micrometers. Particles that are larger than 2.5 can be deposited in airways, resulting in health problems with your lungs. And even at 2.5 parts per million, it can be dangerous. Current mapping now shows the heaviest section of this goes up the Mississippi River. But again, I'm to the east of that, to the right, under where you see Jackson. And even with the lighter colors, now we're seeing this haze. And it's going to move up and over, it be very thick in the Alabama areas. And again, 24-hour forecast. This started at 2 o'clock this afternoon. It's 2:13. 2 p.m. Friday, there's the 120. Unhealthy effects, health effects, again, are listed below. Avoid prolonged exposure, irritants to your... Going to go down to Saturday, 2 days out to 2 p.m. Saturday. And it's down to 32 parts per... to 30, and this is in the PM 2.5. But that air quality is generally acceptable for most individuals. However, sensitive groups may experience minor to moderate symptoms from long-term exposure. So the cloud is not out of here, even though it appears to be much clearer. But this is the strongest I've ever seen it, and I've never looked outside. And guys, I've been here for over 60 years and saw what I'm seeing now. Not only that, I want to show you one other thing. It has to do with the wind and the currents of air that travel around this planet. And what we're talking about here is locusts, but this time on the South American continent that we are connected to, by the way. But Brazil's agricultural ministry has declared a crop emergency in 2 southern states amid the possibility a cloud of locusts could enter the country from Argentina. Now, we don't need any more crop reduction around this planet, but that's what's occurring, and it says the state of phytosanitary emergency is a bureaucratic step paving the way for Brazil's government to implement plans to suppress the plague and take other emergency measures in case the insects reach the farmland in Rio Grande do Sul and Santa Catarina states. The ministry said it in a statement. It doesn't currently expect that to occur, and that's what they said when that they were saying that when the locusts left the African continent and spread across Egypt and further north. The cloud of locusts that originated in Paraguay and caused massive damage to its corn plantations has, for the past several days, spread through northeast Argentina and devoured crops there. So I'm saying that they're spreading in your direction, so don't let your guard down. Yesterday, it was about 100 kilometers from Brazil's border, according to Argentina's Food Safety and Health Authority, SENASA. Now, 100 kilometers is not very far for one of these swarms, guys. Not at all. SENASA said current climate conditions indicated most likely the cloud travels to Uruguay in the coming days. Brazil's agricultural ministry likewise said in a statement that meteorological data for the southern region indicates low probability of the cloud entering Brazilian territory. At just 100 guys, 100 kilometers, that doesn't take very long, or 1 day shift in wind for that to change. But what I wanted to talk about it was the reason that things are spreading, and there's damage coming upon this planet. And one of the things of the 4 horsemen, you got the plagues and you've got hunger and starvation. So it's something to pay attention to. We don't know how this will spread in the next few years. You've got about a 5-month period there that the locusts have, which we call grasshoppers. But and then they'll die back out, and then they'll come back in the spring again. But guys, we're watching this. You watch it. Also, this air quality alert is nothing to be played with. If you can see this, you'll understand what I'm saying. If you can avoid being outside, do it. If you have to be, now is the time to use those masks. It's a heads up. Be safe.